Assalamualaikum and very good morning. Welcome to our presentation. Today we will be presenting our project titled Student Attendance Management System. First, let me introduce our team members. I am Nur Ariana Elisha binti Hamidi together with my teammates Muhammad Zuhilmi, Nur Arifa Alia and Afika Husna. We collaborate together to develop our project titled Student Attendance Management System using C++. The first objective is to develop a student attendance management system using C++. Next, the system stores and manages attendance record using one-dimensional and two-dimensional array. It also applies programming concepts such as pointers, function, and file handling to improve efficiency. In addition, the system automatically calculates attendance percentage and generates attendance report. Finally, it provides a simple and efficient solution for lecturers to manage student attendance. Attendance play an important role in monitoring student participation and engagement in class. However, recording attendance manually is time-consuming, especially when managing a large number of students. It is also more likely to result in errors and disorganized records. Therefore, a better and more efficient system is needed. Our project is a student management system developed using the C++ programming language. The purpose of this system is to help lecturers and administrators manage student attendance more easily, reduce paperwork and manual tasks, and keep attendance record organized. The system provides several main functions, including recording student attendance, updating student information, searching for student records, and generating attendance report automatically. This system offers many benefits. It saves time, reduces human error, make attendance management easier, and store attendance data in a structured and organized way. To develop this program, we apply several important C++ programming concepts, such as functions, structures, struct, array, file handling, loops, and if statements. These concepts help ensure that the system is efficient, reliable, and easy to maintain. Now, let's move on to the problem statement. Currently, attendance is recorded manually using paper or spreadsheets. Although this method is simple, it is not efficient, especially when managing a large number of students. Manual attendance recording is a time-consuming and prone to human error, such as incorrect entries, missing record, or calculation mistake. In addition, updating and managing attendance record become more difficult as the number of students increases. Finding specific records or preparing attendance report can also take a significant amount of time. This challenge highlights the need for a computerized attendance management system that is faster, more accurate, and easier to use.
My name is Afika Husna binti Muhairi, and I will explain the flowchart of our student attendance management system. This system helps manage student attendance by using a file called attendance.txt file. First, we go to the main flowchart. The program starts by loading the data from attendance.txt file. Then, the main menu is displayed. The user can choose to add student, which is add a student name and student ID, display student, update student, delete student, attendance report, save data, and exit. After the user enters a choice, the program will perform the selected function. When the function is finished, it returns to the main menu, and if the user chooses exit, the program will be saved and the data will be end. Next, we go to the load data. This function opens attendance.txt file and read all the student records. It reads the student ID, student name, and attendance for day 1 to day 5. After all records are loaded, the file will close. Third, we go to the save data. This function saves all the student information into attendance.txt file. After saving all the record, the file is closed and the program will be display data saved successfully. Fourth, which is add student. In this function, the user enter the student ID and student name. Then, the user enter attendance for day 1 until day 5, where 1 means present and 0 means absent. Finally, the student is added to the system. Next, display student. This function display all student record. It shows the student ID, student name, and attendance from day 1 to day 5. Next, update student. The user enter a student ID to update. If the ID is found, the user can change the student name and attendance. If the ID is not found, the program will be display student not found. Delete student. The user enter a student ID to delete. If the student exists, the record is removed and the remaining records are shifted forward. Then the total number of students will be updated. Next, we go to the attendance report. This function calculates each student attendance percentage. It counts the number of the day the student is present and use this formula. The formula is attendance percentage equals to present divided by 5 multiplied by 100. Finally, the program will be display the student ID, student name, and attendance percentage.
Now I'm going to explain about how our code work. First, let's look at how we store data in the system memory. We use a struct called student to bind student's ID and name together. To manage the entire class, we implemented two parallel arrays perfectly integrated with one another. A 1D array of struct to hold the personal details, a 2D integer array to act as a grid tracking 5 days of attendance for up to 50 students. To efficiently pass our student count between functions without making unnecessary copies, we utilize pointers. By passing the memory address of our student count variable, our function can directly modify the active number of students in the system. Now let's talk about the data persistence, which is the file I/O. What happened to the text file when this code runs? Our program relies on the file named attendancedata.txt, the text file. We implement the file I/O operation to ensure fully successful reading and writing with data persistence. When the program launches, the load data function search for the attendance data text file. If it doesn't exist, like on the very first run, the system gracefully start fresh. If it does exist, it loops through the file, pushing the IDs and names into our 1D array and the zeros and ones into our 2D grid array. All create, update, and delete operations happen in the computer RAM. We do not constantly write to the text file while the user navigates the menu. This makes the program incredibly fast. When the user select option 5, which is the save and exit, the save data function trigger. It's override attendance data text file with the current memory state. Here the example what the text file look like after adding the student name, which Ali. The ID is like 1006. Marking him present for the first 2 days. The format is strictly ID space name space followed by the 5 integers representing the 5 days of the attendance. Our manual-driven system passes this complex array and pointers into custom function to handle our CRUD operation. The create, add a new student, and initialize their 5-day attendance grid to all zeros, which is absent. Then the read, iterate through the data to print a clean, professional on-screen table using IO formatting. And the update, search for a specific student ID, ask for a specific day, and flip the array value to 1, which is a present, or 0, which is absent. And the delete, find a student and remove them by shifting all subsequent records in both the 1D and 2D array leftward. safely overwriting and deleting data, shrinking the pointers count. Finally, a database is only as good as the insight it's provided to fulfill computational complexity requirement. We didn't just store data, we transform it into using arithmetic formula, which generate the advanced report. The program calls the calculate percentage function. It passes the 2D array, process the data by counting how many days a student was marked at present, dividing that by total days, which is 5, and multiply by 100, which is 100%, and returning a precise double percentage. But we took it a step further. The report function used a conditional logic. If the calculated percentage drop below 80%, the system automatically flags the student with a warning, which a low attendance tag on the screen. This demonstrates the meaningful logic-based data processing.
Assalamualaikum. In this slide, I will explain how student attendance management systems uses several C++ programming concepts, which are file I/O, record structs, arrays, functions, and pointers. First, let's look at file I/O. File I/O is used to store and retrieve student attendance data. When the program starts, it loads the existing attendance records from a file. When the program is closed, it saves the update information back into the file. This is important because it prevents data from being lost every time the program exists. Next is records or struct. Struct is used to group all related student information into one record. For example, each student record contains the student ID and student name. Using a struct makes the data more organized and easier to manage because all the information for one student is stored together. And next, I will explain how arrays are used in our system. First is the one-dimensional array or ID array. ID array stores the list of students. Each element in the array represents one student record. This allows the system to manage multiple students efficiently without creating separate variables for each student. Next is the two-dimensional array or 2D array. The 2D array stores the attendance records for all students. The rows represent individual students, while the columns represent attendance for each day. This structure makes it easy to record, update, and display attendance data for every student. Finally, let's discuss functions and pointers. Functions are used to divide the program into smaller and more manageable tasks. Instead of writing everything in one main program, each function performs a specific job. For example, we have functions to load data, save data, add a student, update attendance, delete a student, display reports, and calculate the attendance percentage. Using functions makes the program more organized, easier to read, and easier to maintain. Lastly, we use pointers. Pointers allow functions to directly modify important variables, such as the student count. Instead of creating a copy of the variable, the function updates the original value. This makes the program more efficient and improves data handling. In conclusion, file I/O, struct, arrays, functions, and pointers work together to make our student attendance management system more organized, efficient, and reliable. This concept helps us manage student records accurately while ensuring that attendance data is saved permanently. Thank you. That's all from us.